footage provided by the story by Manatee County Public Safety shows the rushing stream of contaminated water. The state-run Protection Florida Together website leaked on a report on March 26. On Saturday morning, Manatee County Public Safety said a significant leak had compromised the stability of the pond, which sits atop of a phosphorus gypsum stack, often shortened as a gypsum stack, near the Piney Point in border evacuation. The phosphorus gypsum is a regulated radioactive substance that is a byproduct of fertilizer manufactured according to the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. There are 27 gypsum stacks across Florida. WFLA reported, Channel 8. Gypsum stack in a Piney Point is one of the 27 across Florida. WFLA report.
Donald Trump's Twitter account, saying the end of Trump's presidency makes the case moot. The lawsuit emerged in July of 2017 after the Night First Amendment Institute sued Trump after the Twitter users were blocked by the now banned real Donald Trump Twitter account over their political views. A New York federal judge in May of 2018 found that violated their First Amendment right to petition the government because the social media site is a modern-day public forum, at least when it comes to the The Second Circuit Court of Appeals in July of 2019 agreed that Trump's action was unconstitutional. And now that Donald Trump is no longer in office, the High Court found the 4-year-old dispute over the First Amendment implications of his blocking of political critics on Twitter to be moot. Justice Clarence Thomas, in his concluding opinion, discussed the legal difficulties presented by the digital era and why, quote, applying old doctrines to new digital platforms is rarely straightforward. While Thomas agrees that in some ways Trump's account had resembled a public forum, as he did use it to speak in his official capacity as a government official, it's not an easy analysis because the government itself does not control the space. Thomas also noted that it's odd to think Twitter is a public forum when the company has absolute authority to restrict access, saying in part, the disparity between Twitter's control and Mr. Trump's control is stark, to say the least. Mr. Trump blocked several people from interacting with his messages. Twitter barred Mr. Trump not only from interacting with a few users, but removed him from the entire platform, thus barring all Twitter users from interacting with his messages. More details on the story to Tejo.
Donald Trump's election loss and the Twitter ban have had a secondary but legally important consequence. He ousted from the office and the platform that an important First Amendment fight selling and on Monday the freedom of speech victory, for a group of users whom he blocked was vacated by the U.S. Supreme Court.
Marquis.fambrough. For the Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Tejo.
U.S. Press Secretary Jen Psaki responds on a question about Ron DeSantis' vaccine rollout in Florida.
Matthew 12:25, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said to them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Every city, house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? It's not going to stand, man. And that's the division between, for example, between in-house, between the governments, different levels of government, relating to, for example, this. Ron DeSantis blasting the White House for, relating to the 19. Mark 3:24-27. I'm not going to make this video too long. If a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. If a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. If Satan rise up against Satan and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. And that's what's going to happen. Symbolically, this kingdom is going to have an end, just like the previous kingdoms before that were strong, but they all eventually fall. There's no exception to the rule in this kingdom, and they're not exempt from it. 27. No man can enter a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he must bind the strong man, neutralize, and contain that strong man. That represents the one in power, man. So you got to contain and control that strong man, and you can spoil his goods and do without. And that's what's going to happen to the ones in power in this kingdom, man. Because they represent that strong man, so they're going to be taken down. And they're going to be contained, and the rest is history. I'm going to get a scripture that I forgot to get. It's Amos 8:11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst of water, but hearing the words of the Lord. That's what's going to happen. Censorship, precursors of that, relating to the truth and knowledge being set forth. So, pretty much censoring freedom of speech, forms of censoring, because of certain things that are coming out. So, but that what Trump is freedom of speech relating to his Twitter account. Try to censor him. You know what I mean? So there's going to come a day where that certain things you're not going to be able to hear certain things. That truth and knowledge is going to be pretty much cut off. That day is not too far ahead. I want to go to Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Relating to Esau and Jacob, man. Two different nations, matter of nation of people, contrary to one another, fighting in thy womb. Esau represents the wicked, man. Even in the womb he is fighting. He has certain characteristics and traits, man. He's speaking lies, man. So he's wicked from the beginning, before he even knew it. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. So, poison like a serpent. Their tongue, that tongue is like poison, man. It's like venom, man. So it's deadly. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like a deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. We'll go 24 and 2. For their heart study of destruction, and their lips talk of mischief, deceit, lies, that's the wicked, and their heart study of destruction. They study how to implement, how to imagine, and how to go forth with their mischievous device, man. Because the wicked study of destruction. They study how to achieve wickedly, to outdo their performance before, man. Because they have counsel in secret to implement certain things. For example, on this Piney Points relating to this wastewater and Manatee County, man. Question mark, suspicion, man. Millions of contaminated water potentially that can affect the water supply in the Tampa area, man. I'm going to go to Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, people rejoice. When the righteous are in authority, righteous is not in authority right now. This is not their kingdom. So people are not going to rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, people mourn. This is the wicked's rulership. So right now, people are mourning because the ones in power are the wicked. They're poor managements. They got poor management skills. They don't know how to run a kingdom, and they're wicked in their ways, man. This earth smells, trash all over the place, chemicals in the air, chemicals in the water, chemicals in the food. The earth is mourning, man. It stinks, trash all over the place. It's a cesspool of wickedness and filth because the wicked's in power, man. So the people are not going to rejoice. They are mourning. They cry out continually. They complain continually into the scripture, man, because the prophets continually complaining relating to this kingdom, man. They hate this kingdom, man. They hate the ways of it, the wickedness of it, man. And that's all I wanted to get relating to a few verses. Just talk about 3 different related to Trump's freedom of speech Twitter battle that he won related to the Supreme Court. Other one relates to the Piney Points wastewater, that hundreds of millions of contaminated water is potentially be dumped that can affect the water supply. And the other one is relating to the in-house bickering relating to Ron DeSantis and the White House relating to the 19 rollouts. This is something short, shalakia for my tone. I'm going to give all praise to Al Bashim Yashal Bashim Rakakadash. The water shalom.